There's a CCTV camera right there, a high-definition camera. They murdered my son here. It was all on film. The magistrate saw this footage on the bail hearing and granted bail.
At 15, Angus Beaumont was becoming a young man, his life ahead of him. He died on a footpath in Redcliffe, north of Brisbane, when a knife was plunged 14 centimetres into his chest. He'd found himself in the middle of a marijuana deal gone wrong. He wasn't directly a part of the deal, but died because of it.
He died, 300 metres away from a hospital.
His mother watched the vision in court.
And he tried to kick and he tried to punch and then he was gone. You're laying there overnight, seeing through your dead child eyes, seeing through him lying on the ground, and you're thinking, is this what was going through his head? Is that what he's seeing? And then they both ran off and high-fived each other.
Both of Angus's killers had chilling rap sheets. They were 14. One was on probation, the other bail. Neither had been sentenced to jail.
Yeah, it's so wrong.
They can step up their criminal behaviour each time because they know nobody can say anything and nobody can touch them because of the laws that these lawmakers are making now.
Across Queensland, the talk of youth crime has accelerated beyond shock to anger.
Something concrete was done when we first called it out 2 years ago. Some of these events may not have happened and some of these people may still be alive today. Yeah, that was at our eldest son's wedding in
March.
March
Is that
2020.
And he's watching you. He's like, I'm watching you, Mum. What are you doing?
The expectant parents and their unborn child were killed by a 17-year-old in a stolen car at Alexandra Hills in Brisbane South on Australia Day as they walked their dogs. Footage shows the four-wheel drive colliding with another car before the fatal crash.
I can't understand the logic.
It's the grossly inadequate 6 years that must hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
That was the real kick in the guts. You know, even though we sort of half expected it, and the laws or the sentencing is what it is.
Yeah.
And when they first said it was okay, it's 10 years, we thought, oh, okay, we can get 10 years. We thought, oh, okay, we might get 8 realistically, but we didn't think he'd get 6.
The driver was not only intoxicated and on drugs, he was also on bail and had reportedly fronted the children's court 7 times on 107 charges.
So he's come down here playing chicken, going onto the other side of the road as well.
Correct.
In a stolen vehicle, the teenager clipped a tow truck that was responding to the chaos and rolled, squashing the couple. The parents heard the news reports.
Good evening. A young couple, 3 months from welcoming their first child, has been hit and killed by a teenage driver allegedly high on ice.
You know, here's 2 people going about their business innocently on Australia Day, walking their dogs. You know, they should be entitled to do that.
How long until you knew?
I had a gut feeling that it was them. I tried to message them and there was no answer.
We saw highlights on the news.
We saw
saying
the road
couple.
rage, road rage thing here.
Yeah.
And then we saw on the news that a young couple had been killed.
Walking their dogs.
And as soon as I heard that,
We had a fair idea.
I knew it was them.
The police did their best to sort of try and notify us pretty well all at the same time.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
And here we are, 2 and a bit years later, still fighting for justice.
Incredibly, that criminal, who we can't name, is appealing his sentence as the victims' families push to keep him behind bars for years longer.
It's the realisation that it's not a justice system, it's a legal system.
Yes.
It is, there's no justice.
In Cairns, Ayla Fraser's home was hit. Bandits wanted the keys to the family's brand new Hilux. Around 3 a.m, she heard a door sweep open and thought it was her daughter.
I got up, didn't see anything. They must have been hiding in the house.
The car ended up in a creek, a write-off. But it's what could have happened that haunts her.
What's going on to talk about? It just brings it all up again.
I can't really get to sleep at night because I'm too scared to close my eyes. Just like really grateful that they didn't go into the rooms where the kids were sleeping.
Mommy, why are you sad?
Ayla knows how easily her family's encounter could have followed the same fate that met Emma Lovell, who was killed on Boxing Day when two teenagers entered her home in Brisbane's northern suburbs. Her partner Lee was also stabbed.
Two teenagers have been charged over the stabbing death of a Brisbane mother in her own home.
There are calls for a tougher crackdown on youth crime in Queensland.
After the horrific home invasion murder of Emma Lovell.
A wife, a mother, taken from her two children, allegedly by two children.
One of Emma's alleged killers was on bail. As we will show you, that's now a frequent occurrence, with the rate of repeat offenders committing violent crimes rising. Terry Goldsworthy is a cop turned criminologist. He says in 2022, Queensland Police handed out 15,000 cautions for minors. There were 2,500 community conferences for troubled teens. Very few offenders, though, went to jail, and if they did, it wasn't for long.
It's only 6% of those who go into the court process are getting a custodial sentence. If you have a look at what type of sentences they're getting, they're quite short. For instance, in regards to stolen vehicles, we looked at about 10 years' worth of data. The average sentence was 3.6 months. So when you see a government response saying we're going to try and solve a crime problem by increasing the maximum penalty from 7 years to 10 years, in reality that is going to have absolutely no impact whatsoever.
Many believe the current Queensland crime wave started in Townsville. Statistics obtained from parliamentary questions on notice show the Garrison City is losing the battle for control. In 2021, 95% of detainees at Cleveland Youth Detention Centre re-offended within 12 months. Statewide, 76% of young offenders were charged with another offence within a year. In the mining town of Mount Isa, 41 people in every 1,000 had their homes broken into last year, according to data obtained by the Courier Mail, while 10 in every 1,000 had their car stolen. In the Darling Downs, an area west on the map of southeast Queensland, the number of young offenders pinching cars has tripled over 10 years, from 214 in 2012 to 693 last year. Assault, robbery and unlawful entry are all up, while teens committing weapons acts have gone from 42 to 100 in a decade.